I wanted to touch on this story, and yeah, I know half the audience is going to be like, ugh, sports, but it's really not about that. For people who may be unaware, the Chicago, well, it is about sports, but it's more about owners and their inability to face the consequences of their actions or be challenged in any meaningful way. The Chicago Blackhawks NHL team, one of the original 6 NHL teams, considered one of the top franchises in the league, has been mired in a massive scandal in which one of their young players during their Stanley Cup run around, I believe, 10 years ago or 2010, was sexually assaulted very aggressively by a video assistant on staff. Kyle Beach was the victim's name. He was John Doe in a lawsuit for a while and came out and spoke incredibly powerfully to the media, told his story, talked graphically about this assault by this video assistant, who was kept on with the organization after Kyle Beach complained because they didn't want to disrupt team chemistry in the middle of a Stanley Cup run, which they ended up winning. The idea that a video assistant would be protected, this isn't the head coach, not that that would be okay. This isn't the general manager. This isn't the owner. This guy was a video assistant who was also able to participate despite saying, okay, after this year, you have to leave. But he was kept on, participated in the team celebration after they won the Stanley Cup, then was let go, went and worked in other programs, including with other young boys, ended up getting convicted, I believe, of assaulting a minor at another point in his life. He's a convicted sex offender, and the Blackhawks helped cover it up. This is a massive, massive story, and yet the entire organization appears to be frustrated that the media is even deigning to ask them about this story. Here is a reporter from The Athletic, which was, I believe, recently acquired by the New York Times, Mark Lazarus. He's asking the chairman, Rocky Wirtz, who I believe is also the owner of the Blackhawks. Is that right, Bradley? Yes. He's the chairman. We're just double checking on that. Yes, he's the owner.
Yeah, he's the principal owner and chairperson of the team.
Look at how indignantly he responds and how outrageously he responds when there's just a question about the team's culpability in this really, really disgusting incident.
I know we're looking forward here, but I think we have to look back also. And I think much of what happened to Kyle Beach stemmed from a power imbalance between a coach and a player, and the powerlessness of a player in that situation. So what are the Blackhawks doing? What have the Blackhawks done? What will the Blackhawks do to empower a player in a similar situation to make sure that doesn't happen again?
I'm going to answer the question at the end. I think the report speaks for itself. The people that were involved are no longer here. We're not looking back at 2010. We're looking forward. And we're not going to talk about 2010.
I'm not talking about you.
I know, and I'm not either. And we're not going to talk about what happened. We're moving forward. That is my answer. Now, what's your next question?
I can pick up to what we are doing today. And I think
no, I don't know. That's none of your business. That's none of your business. What we're going to do today is our business. I don't think it's any of your business.
How is it not my business?
Because I don't think it's any of your business. You don't work for the company. If someone in the company asks that question, we'll answer it. And I think you should get on to the next subject. We're not going to talk about Kyle Beach. We're not going to talk about anything that happened. Now we're moving on. What more do I have to say? You want to keep asking the same question? You hear the same answer? Okay, ask the next question.
You said enough right there.
Okay, good.
He had to apologize after that because obviously that outburst was incredibly embarrassing, but the reporter nailed it. The Athletic reporter, when he said, you said enough right there. The guy's name is Mark Lazarus. This, again, it's a sports story, but it really is a corporate culture and capitalism story.
It's a capitalist story,
yeah.
Unaccountable capitalist.
Mm-hmm. This guy feels, I mean, team owners operate like oligarchs, and they feel like they are. I mean, we're seeing this also in the story of Brian Flores, where someone like Stephen Ross basically said to him in the NFL, "You're going to tank, and I'm going to pay you I'm going to pay you money to be bad at your job, and I'll probably throw you overboard in the end. And it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, you'll be fired because of the bad record.
Because you'll be fired because of the bad record. But I paid you to do what I want. I wanted you to be the worst team in the league. And you do it. And you'll be the fall guy. And it doesn't matter if you're trying to like represent something bigger than yourself and it's your entire career and you're a black coach and it's already hard for you to get opportunities. But you're going to do what I say because I'm a billionaire and I own this team." And like, this is the similar thing that we're seeing here there. Like, you are an outside reporter and you're going to ask me about what meaningful changes we've done in our organization to prevent sexual assault? You're not in the company. You're not a company guy. You're not getting paid by me. So you should not be able to ask me any tough questions. And the idea that anyone getting paid by him would be able to ask tough questions is laughable because of the instance that we talked about here. Because when Kyle Beach, who was, I believe, 19 at the time, I mean, he struggled. He talks about how he had substance abuse issues after this assault because no one in the team listened to him. He went to multiple people. And there was a meeting about it, and everyone decided to cover it up, to keep on a very ancillary coach to the team's success. The idea that anybody in the organization would have been able to go to that guy, that capitalist, that owner, and say, I really want to talk about the structural power dynamics within this organization, which we spoke about Indigenous rights and the offensiveness of those mascots yesterday. Blackhawks, you're up next, by the way. The idea that anyone in that organization would be able to actually meaningfully say something to the powerful, it's laughable. I mean, and that he demonstrated that by the way that he spoke to that reporter.
Yeah, that's that sort of owner. That's who's coddled to it in this America. That's who's threatened by all the wokeness. That's like when Dave Rubin says like the wokes are coming for your boardrooms. That's what he's talking about. Like that's who's in his ear. That's who Dave Rubin thinks he's like representing basically. And I think it's coming up in so many different areas in sports, but also happening in entertainment a lot too. But the SI reporter, I forget his name, Mike Silver, I think. Yeah. When he said like there are racists in position of power, or people who are willing to cover up sexual assaults, or like just bad people in positions of power, and we need to stop tiptoeing around people like that.
Yep. So good question by that reporter, though. I mean, anyway.
Yeah, and like the reporter said, he wasn't even asking about the past. He was saying, "What are you doing now and in the future?"
Right. Right. The answer is nothing. The
answer is I'm not talking about it with anybody unless you're part of the company. And if you are part of the company, I'll fire you. So you're not part of the company, so you can't.
But if anyone's in the company, we'll talk about it.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it in a way that's like you're fired.